Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moltrap here, and I am coming at you here with another StarCraft 2 commentary. And this promises to be a very, very good match. This is a match between a red Zerg player here named DIMAGA, and as you can see here, the blue Terran is TLO, the little one. And this was a game that was, I'm not sure exactly where it's from. It's from, I mean, I think I found it on a couple different replay sites. Game Replays. .org is where I originally found this, and the person that uploaded said it had something to do with finals. But I think I was trying to find out more about what it was the finals of, and I found something saying it was a show match on Gosu Gamers. I'm not sure. Anyway, either way, doesn't matter. It's supposed to be a very, very exciting game, and I'm looking forward to it. This is the little one. He's been doing very, very well in the foreign community, and actually, well, I guess in the international community, getting into the round of 32 of the GSL, the big GOM-TV Star League in Korea, and I believe, I think he was eliminated from that before the round of 16, but I'm not certain. But still, very, very good player. And DIMAGA, of course, one of the old players from the Brood War scene, very, very good Brood War player, now here playing StarCraft 2 as well, and has been doing very well lately as well. So it's interesting, we saw TLO actually get his gas first, and so he's going for some gas here before his barracks even started. Now, Zerg players have been lately doing a very Brood War style. They've been going for a fast expansion very quickly. So he can kind of expect that sort of thing. So it makes a lot of sense why he doesn't have to worry too much about a rush. If he was getting rushed, he might be in a little bit of trouble, though, because his barracks is going down a little tiny bit later than it could have, and SCV is going to come and scout it out. He'd be scouting the Zerglings coming right now. I'm not sure how he would manage to block this gap, to be honest with you. Anyway, TLO is actually taking his SCVs off of gas, so what he's going to do, yeah, exactly, he's just gotten barely enough gas for a factory here, and he's going to get that factory down, and looks like he's got his factory rallied to this drone, apparently, which is interesting. Random place to, maybe it was to the SCV. Where is it now? Now he's got rallied over to this expansion. Anyway, he's going to produce a Hellion very quickly out of that. Since he's pulled his guys off minerals, he's going to have just minerals. He's going to be able to start his econ going, make sure he's able to produce a lot of SCVs as well. No gas, though, so he's not even going to be able to produce a reactor or anything like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's saving up for an extra command center, actually, at this point, because of that. And that is why he felt safe having that big gap, because he was going to put the factory in the way regardless. And now he's just got this little tiny gap that he can close off if he needs to. And here he's putting in that extra command center. He knows that there's no big rush coming, though. His SCV went in there, checked things out, and then ran back again. So this Hellion is going to be out pretty quickly, and spawning pool is up. He's already gotten some gas, so he's researching metabolic boost, and I like this move by DIMAGA, going for the creep tumor first. It can be very tempting to just go straight off for a spawn larva on your hatchery to get some early larva out. And he's got another queen over here as well. He's spawning larva over here. I'm sorry, getting some creep over here as well. I like that move because then you can start getting your creep up very quickly, and you miss out on a few initial larvae, but then and I like this. He's microing back and forth. The Hellion apparently has longer range than the Queen, so he's able to micro and fall back. And here he comes in, trying to move around, trying to get some drones or something. He's going to get chased down by a couple Queens and Zerglings, trying to run around the side. A second Hellion running in the back, and unfortunately he had them grouped together. If he'd microed them separately, which is not an easy task, I know, then he could have taken less damage on the second Hellion. Here he is moving in, just trying to roast some drones and doing a beautiful job. Those two Hellions together able to basically almost one-shot these drones. Just a couple shots each, basically. And coming with more Hellions as well, but a lot of Zerglings come out. Speed is finished for the Zerglings, and on creep, they're super, super fast. And with this creep expanding everywhere, he's going to be able to move those Zerglings around very, very quickly. They are super fast even without the creep, but on creep, they're just ridiculous. Those Zerglings, and he's continuing to produce a lot of Queens, actually, and it's probably because he's expecting, there we go, he's expecting, probably going to start seeing some Banshees here pretty soon. Actually getting up at Tech Lab first, a second Tech Lab before going for extra Banshees. But we're probably going to see Banshees coming out here pretty quickly. He's gone for that fast expansion, and he's kind of made a little wall here at the front. He's going to start putting Hellions in the gap. I like that, because then the Hellions can protect this small gap against any kind of mass Zergling counterattack. He did see a bunch of Zerglings here, but look at this. 4 queens and some Zerglings now moving out here. He's got so many queens, he can sit one next to his hatcheries and have them spawn larvae. And the others he can have out here in front and basically be a wall, a shield against any more Hellions coming in to harass. He does have to worry about these Banshees that are going to come out here pretty soon. He's got his lair going. Sorry, he's got his lair going, but he doesn't quite have it up yet. It's not even halfway completed, so he's not anywhere near, you know, Hydralisk tech or anything like that. Let's see if he's going to get any Evo chambers or anything like that to get some spore crawlers, or if he's just going to count on sheer queens to counter the Banshees. Here comes a single Zergling running in to try and see what TLO is up to. He's got a little extra minerals in the bank after producing these Banshees, just getting a couple Marines in that bunker basically, just because you might as well. Anyway, here's these 2 Banshees. Is he yes, Cloak is almost done researching. He's going in. The lair is not quite finished. He's going to need to get an Overseer out very quick, lickety-split. Once that lair completes, he's going to need to morph one. There's the lair. Is he going to morph an Overseer? Where's an Overseer? His Queen is trying to battle against these Banshees. 2 Banshees, no more than a match for these 2 Queens. There's the Overseer morphing in the background. He's got these 4 Queens coming up to reinforce, but Cloak is finished, so he's able to do that and target down these Queens. And actually the Queens doing transfusion on each other. Nicely done. Transfusion on the Queens to keep them alive. Beautiful work. Wow, and the masked Queen's actually doing pretty well. And let's see, he's continuing to even produce more Queens, it looks like. Wow, so he's got 4 extra Queens. Well, 3, I guess, extra Queens. And he's still continuing to produce more. Here he comes in. He's actually going to Comsat. I like that move. Comsatting and picking off these creep tumors so that they can't keep reproducing themselves. Nicely done. Comsat wears off, so he's going to miss out on that one. But that was a pretty big hit to his creep, actually. He's killed off several creep tumors. DIMAGA has so many Queens, though, he can just lay down another one on that creep before it recedes. Actually, I guess I wasn't going to recede because of this one. But either way, he can lay down lots of creep because of all these massive amounts of Queens. And Queens are ridiculously slow off of creep. They are not even worth having off of creep. But on creep, you can see they're actually pretty decent pace here. And I like the Overseer's out now. He's getting some Spore Crawlers as well. I like that, just to have a little extra defense, something to distract the Banshees before they... And that's Spore Crawler too. I'm curious to see if we see any tech. There we go. Spire is up. So finally he's going to have something other than Queens and Zerglings. I think... I don't know about the Spire. Mutalisks... Well, Mutalisks are going to be able... He's massing a lot of Vikings here. I don't know if DIMAGA knows that TLO has so many Vikings. Here we go. Banshee is just going to come in and try and do some more harassment. Probably going to be driven away by the Spore Crawler and the Queens over here. Massing more Zerglings, continuing to massing Queens. Overseer following those Queens around as well. I like this. Look, he's creeping up the middle, using his sight to creep over the middle through these rocks here, so he has that here. But he actually doesn't want to kill the rocks, because the rocks are protecting this route, and that means he can expand to here and have it be protected as well by the same front line, because then, as you can look on the minimap, the forces have to go all the way around through this area here to get to any of his bases with those rocks not there. So that makes a lot of sense that he's going to keep those rocks up for now, but he's got the creep there just in case. You know, it's good to have creep wherever. In Zerg, if your opponent is not Zerg, it's always good to just have more creep everywhere. Another hatchery going up as well, and another hatchery going up down here in the bottom left, so he is really going into macro here. Macro mode, he's just massing more Queens and some Mutalisks as well. A few Mutalisks coming in here. I don't know if he knows that TLO has that many Vikings, and so he's got to be a little bit worried about that. He's going to try and run in and pick some stuff off here. Here come the Vikings. Look at this. 13 Vikings running in, and they are going to be more than a match for these Mutalisks. They're going to have to fall back. Mutas and Vikings are kind of an interesting match because the Vikings have superior range in the air. They've got a long range. What is it, like 9? Yeah, range of 9 in the air, compared to the Mutas have a very small range of 3. But the Mutas are faster, so they can get up kind of close to the Vikings. So it's not, you can't just, you know, attack and move back and attack and fall back with the Vikings. However, if you have 13 of them, you can apparently pop Mutalisks in one shot. Beautiful work by TLO, just running around popping these Mutas, and he is moving and firing to stay away from these Queens, who are faster on creep, but still not that fast. And of course, they have these rocks in the way, so he can't move quite as fast. I like this, dropping down on the ground to try and finish off these Queens. Zerglings are coming in, though, from behind. He needs to get out of the way of those Zerglings. He lifts up just in time before those Zerglings come in. He's going to polish off a couple more Mutalisks, and he's going to have to fall back, though, with these Queens attacking him. Yeah, he's starting to lose more Vikings than he needs to at this point. But still just running and popping Mutas left and right. Anyway, DIMAGA continuing to produce a few Mutalisks, but mostly Queens here. He's getting melee attack and ground carapace and stuff, so he's upgrading his ground units. But he really needs to do something. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten maybe some Hydralisks, who I think would be maybe a better choice against these Vikings. The Hellions, though, are going to do very well against the Zerglings. I like this falling down, landing rather, polishing off those Zerglings, and lifting back up in case any Mutas come back. TLO is trying to take another base over here, but it's been creeped up by DIMAGA. He might send a Viking over there and kill that off, but in the meantime, he stopped from getting his extra expansion. But he is just producing all areas. He is just going gung-ho on the air units, and these Queens are taking massive amounts of damage. Just destroys all those Queens. DIMAGA continuing to produce more Queens, though. Look at these. He's gathered up 5 Queens and a group of Zerglings here, which are going to do pretty well against this. The hatchery's gone down, and he still has this high yield in the bottom left, though. Just gets comsetted. Wow, so TLO is on top of that. He knows exactly what's over there. Banshees in the mix. I like this cloaking the Banshees. There's so much other stuff that the Queens can attack. It doesn't make sense to go after them that much. I'm sorry, go after the Banshees if they're cloaked, even though they're kind of dealing more damage. And uh-oh, he's fighting with SCVs against these Queens now. He's going to finally land his Vikings, but he's losing a lot of Vikings here. Only thing that was attacking really against the ground was the Banshee. Queens are going to get fallen back, but I like this. This is beautiful. DIMAGA is doing a really good job of using transfusion to heal his Queens up. It's kind of like, you know, well, kind of like having medevacs, except you have to kind of cast it. Anyway, it's not really similar at all. But anyway, he's keeping his Queens alive, and they're attacking and healing each other. He was doing a great job. But unfortunately, the SCVs were repairing the Vikings as well. Here he comes in after this extra base. He's gotten some drones up here finally. He's starting to mine a lot of minerals up here. But it's not going to do much good against these Vikings. Some Zerglings coming in. The wall of SCVs in the way of the Vikings is going to protect them. He's got some Mutalisks and some Zerglings. And yeah, these Queens can't really go down this corridor until he gets some creep over there. They're just so slow off the creep. It just is not going to be able to do any good. And here he's actually brought that command center that was going to go on the island over here to this pseudo-island with the rocks, the debris protecting it. And he's also gotten a planetary fortress at this base. So TLO is quickly running away with this game. DIMAGA's not quite out of it yet. He needs to do something to counterattack pretty quickly, though. And he's gotten a Baneling nest up, but no Banelings as of yet.